Hey there, welcome to Redefining Possible. This is Jordan Johnson. I am with the Chicago Sky, and I'm with a friend today.
Shayna Jones, and I'm with Donda's House organization.
How you doing? And we are here with Donda's House, Chicago Sky Cares Foundation, and Aarp. And this is Redefine Possible. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about what the Chicago Sky is doing. We got the season coming up, a lot of stuff going on in the community. And then I'm here to just talk with you, hang out with you a little bit.
Awesome. So yes, tell us a little bit about the Chicago Sky and the update information.
All right. Well, I lead all community outreach for the Chicago Sky Cares Foundation, and we touch in 5 different areas with our community outreach: youth and family, military veterans. We inspire women, of course, health and wellness, and diversity and inclusion. So within those 5s, we're out in the community. We're out with our players, out with our front office staff, and our mascot. We're just doing a lot of things with education, and doing a lot of things tomorrow with Fifth Third Bank. Well, we're having a small business workshop in Hyde Park area in the YMCA on Stony Island. So that's going to be something good. So we're just doing that, and then in June we're having our very first gala.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And the theme for that gala is advancing Chicago's youth.
Okay.
And one of the unique things that we're doing with the gala is a unique project with CPS, one of the CPS schools in Rogers Park, which is one of our adopted high schools through our city year partnership, Rogers C. Sullivan High School in Rogers Park. We're going to help position them to be the very first CPS school with one-to-one mobile tablet training for faculty and students for personalized learning.
That is awesome.
So through this gala, we want to come through with resources, training, to just help the school get to that level, and hopefully we can take this model and hopefully we can expand it to CPS. You know,
yes,
so that's kind of groundbreaking for us. But then other proceeds from the gala will go towards our charity ticket programming and our health and wellness programs and education. So everything for the youth is definitely for this season, for the summer. And then the team, you know, we got this first home game. First home game is May 19th. We play at Allstate Arena. And you can get all this information at chicagosky.net, at chicagosky.net, and hopefully we can get some people come out to the games this season. We got a new coach, got some new players. It's going to be a fun season.
That's
definitely.
awesome. And I know you have some other events that are coming up, and can you really quickly explain? We're going to show you guys some upcoming events, and he's going to talk about them a little bit. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, so this first one, the Redefine Possible Brunch, we had it in April, end of April, and this was to highlight women who are doing great things in the community. And we had a brunch, and we had a panel sponsored by Walgreens. Margaret Stender, who is one of the pioneers to bring the team to Chicago Sky. She was a moderator for us. It was great. We had good networking. And then the Fifth Third Bank event tomorrow morning. If you got time to get up in the morning and come out with us, you can learn some very good information on how to grow your small business. We're going to be talking about things like how to fail, but how to fail forward, how to grow, access to grow, how to use social media to your advantage, how to evolve with the times. Fifth Third Bank is helping us put on this workshop. We're going to be at the YMCA on the south side on Stony Island. So hopefully you can come out with us. And then on the table is another unique event that we're doing in Rogers Park at Sullivan High School. This is going to be on Tuesday, May 16th. And on the table is a community conversation where we can get community leaders together, our sponsors and partners together, students and faculty, educators together, and just talk about things like how we could bring solutions to our communities in different areas. And the topic for this on the table is racial inclusion and education. So yeah, it's going to be a deep subject that we're going to tackle. But AARP is going to be there. So and then a lot of our friends like Magellan, Avison Young. So it's going to be definitely a good event on Tuesday, May 16th at Sullivan High School at 5:30. We're going to feed everybody, so that's going to be a good event.
Awesome.
We got the gala, and then we're having a diversity hiring expo. So if you're looking for a job, if you are a woman, if you're a minority, if you're a veteran, you can find more information on this hiring expo on chicagosky.net, which is on July 18th. We're going to be downtown at the Blue Cross Blue Shield building in Illinois. So we got a lot of good things going on in the community with Sky Cares Foundation. And, we do a lot of this community stuff with grassroots marketing,
Yes.
Helping people get to their potential. And hopefully, people can believe in us in the community to say, we're going to come out and check a game. So
Yes.
hopefully we can
Awesome.
touch people on the court and off the court and do it in a special way.
Yes, and I'm sure that Chicago Sky can definitely do that. And I really appreciate you coming and discussing with us the new things that are coming up for Chicago Sky. And we really love that you came on the show today. And thank you so much.
Always good to be on Redefine
Yes.
Possible. Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you, Shayna.
Again, and guys, you can check out his events on
ChicagoSky.net.
chicagosky.net, and it's a whole line of them. But there you go right there. There's the website for you.
Appreciate
And
it.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we're going to have another guest come on. And he is a really awesome guy. And he goes by the name of Shay Rhymefest Smith. So we're going to welcome on Shay Rhymefest Smith. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Shane? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
doing pretty good.
Good
Thank
to be
you.
here.
Again, you were tuned into Redefining Possible. This is our guest, Shay Rhymefest Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And can you first just start off telling us a little bit about who you are? Rhymefest?
Oh, well, yeah. I'm a Chicagoan, born and raised South Side. I'm a writer, and I've recently started a new journey of acting. So I'm acting and basically in the content creation business. But what my passion is bringing the resources from creating that content back to community and helping to pass it on to other people to create
Okay.
content.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm the creative director at Donda's house.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Awesome. That is amazing. So I know you have a documentary that came out it's called In My Father's House. Can you give a brief introduction on what that was about?
Yeah, the documentary that we filmed in my father's house was about the journey that I went through, never knowing my father,
Okay.
but purchasing his childhood home and then not being comfortable in that home and then going to search for the father that I didn't know.
Wow.
And when I finally found my father, it turned out that he had been homeless for 35 years.
Wow.
And so bringing my father back to that home and not only repairing the home, but repairing our relationship. And so the film documents that journey, but it also peels back the layers of what kind of father was I.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And how was I interacting with my children and my family. So it's about the real lives of families, which I think ultimately, if we want to stop violence, if we want to repair ourselves economically, the first thing we have to do is bring our families together.
Yes, I think that is an amazing point and topic. So before we even get into the questioning, I want to show you all a quick clip of In My Father's House. So we're going to do that really quickly. Well, we're going to come back to that, a little technical difficulties here. But I'll start off with asking, how did you end up becoming your father's caregiver?
Well, again, when I found my father and he had been homeless for 35 years, there was a lot that he did not know about how to live in a home.
Okay.
Or how to live with people in this type of community. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he was living in a different world and every day I've been seeing black males that are, and my father had to be acclimated to things like shopping for groceries.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Things
yeah.
like how to wash his clothes. He hadn't used a washing machine in years.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow,
So
yeah.
like just basic everyday things, but also living on the street for 35 years in the elements and in crazy places. My father had developed arthritis. He had
Wow.
hearing problems. He had eye problems. He had teeth problems. He didn't have basic medical health care. And so, I had to make sure that I had to repair him as a physical human being
Right,
to
right.
even like get into the other stuff.
Yes, that is amazing. I know that was a huge task, but can you hold that thought 1 second? We have
Yeah.
a caller that wants to ask you a question.
Sure.
Caller, are you there?
Yes, good evening.
Good
Great show as always. But I was 69 years old. I was thinking back in my day, there was at least 5 or 6 events going on at one time all week long. You don't have that anymore. What you have is poverty, expense like myself, my good friend, the African American, get no job. All that right now. $100 million worth of construction, and not one black or one Hispanic crane up there. None. Now I want to know why. Because now we vote in all our people, right? Years ago it was different.
Well, I could say in terms of, and you're talking about economic opportunities in our communities, the one thing I would say about that, I'd go back and say, if we could fix our families and fix our homes, then we could create those type of economic opportunities in our own community and be able to control the assets that are in our community. And I believe that includes construction and jobs and contracts and politics. I believe that when you look at other communities where families are tighter and communities consider themselves as a village.
Right.
You look at Chinatown, you look at Little Italy, you look at just different places, the people who live in the community who grow together actually control the economics and the politics of
Right.
said community.
Right.
I believe in a lot of our communities, we live in those neighborhoods, but it's more like a colony than a community because people can transfer anytime they want. We don't own a stake in the community because we don't control what's happening in our homes.
Right, there's hired people. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much, caller, for
Thank
that
you.
question. We appreciate that. So this kind of leads into this next question. As he was saying, a lot of the issues with poverty and things going on, that's a lot of struggle in that field. So I want to ask, how did you overcome the issues of being your father's caregiver and the different struggles that he had, going from poverty into just a whole new situation? How did that,
it's interesting because my father was homeless for 35 years, I don't even consider that poverty. That's
Okay.
lower than poverty.
Yeah,
That's money wasn't even, the way we think about money is not how he thought about money. He just
Right.
thought about survival. And if it was if I could get a meal, that's what I need. If I can get a bed, that's what I need. If I can get $1, that's what I need.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he needed tools for survival. We look at money as a tool to
Okay.
buy, the
That's-
things that we
true.
want. He just got whatever he could get at that time. And how do you take someone from that to, it's very difficult because you have to have a divine love
Yes.
and a divine
Yes.
forgiveness. And especially a parent that you felt like may not have been there, you have to forgive before you even approach that situation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yes.
Because of
Yes.
not knowing. And so I believe that with a revolutionary type of patience.
Right.
One of the problems we have, I believe, in our communities is that our family is so broke up so that when someone gets ill, it's hard to even care about caring for them.
Absolutely. It's hard to reach out because it's so separated.
Because there's so much
Right.
stuff in between that. And a lot of us need counseling. A lot of us need counseling.
Yes.
And I would say that's one of the things my father and I did. We got counseling.
Yes.
And that really helped me. The counseling and the support network I had around me helped me deal with that situation.
That is awesome. So a resource was counseling for you. And I have a question too. How did, in terms of the resources outside of counseling, what other resources were you able to reach out to help you with you caring for your father and him getting back on his feet?
Well, you'll be surprised because you may have a job or you may be, upwardly mobile. You can go get information. There were a lot of programs.
Scoot over just a little, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, scoot
Yeah,
over this
you
way.
good, yeah.
Well, there were a lot of organizations like Safe Haven that when I took my father to Safe Haven, they knew somebody cared for him and was sponsoring him, so they were more willing to help.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when all you have to become is an advocate for the person you're caring for, and you can find so much information and so many people who are willing to help you advocate for your loved one. So Safe Haven brought my father in. They put him on an AA program. They helped him get his first job in 35 years. And Safe Haven is on the west side where he was, and they were one wonderful resource. Another one is Heartland Alliance. Heartland Alliance is a great organization. Evelyn Diaz, who's the executive director, really helped my father get his first apartment.
Wow.
And I was able to help him, keep that up. So, these type of programs do exist. People just have to know where they are and who they are.
Right.
And it takes the caregiver to also be the advocate.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's great to know that these places are out there because, poverty is a huge issue in Chicago. And just even coming here, just seeing people lay under the viaduct, on mattresses, you would love to be able to let these people know of these resources. Because like you said, a lot of people don't have the internet or, being in that state, they're not able to reach out and,
They don't have the information.
right, get that information, because they don't have that technology.
And that's one of the biggest things about being a caregiver. It's not just having your loved one in your home and saying, I'm going to feed you, I'm going to clothe you, I'm going to help you help yourself.
Right.
I'm going to connect you with programs to give you the help you need so that I don't feel like I have to do everything or I'm on my own and I'm as helpless and we're both helpless. We have to connect to the village and to the resources.
And that is a huge point. Again, that they have to learn how to be on their own feet or else they're going to keep making the same mistakes. So that is awesome. I think that's a beautiful thing, you being your father's caregiver. So my next question is for you then. How did this impact you being a father? Because I know you're a father yourself. So and I'm sorry, how many kids do you have?
I got
Can
3
you
children.
Tell a little bit about that.
Yeah. I don't mind. I love my children. So, I have 3 children. And one of the reasons I went through this journey was so that in me forgiving and loving my father, every child grows up and feels like something was unfair.
Yeah.
Every child grows up and feels like, oh, this was the worst thing in my family. But the only thing we can do as parents is try to give examples of love and examples of forgiveness.
Absolutely.
And in me forgiving my father, because I'm in the life of my children, I just hoped and prayed that there was nothing that they couldn't forgive me for. And so what we have to do is kind of show examples of generational love and generational caring and generational giving.
Absolutely.
So that it becomes something that is automatic to the new generations, because this is the tradition that we're raised in. And so, by me being the product of a single mother, growing up on the South Side, going through the gangs and all that, I feel obligation to begin new traditions in my family.
Absolutely.
And new journeys. And when you talk about my children, I just pray that my children pick up on these traditions and carry them on. The traditions of divine love and revolutionary forgiveness.
Yeah, and I think that's also an awesome answer to the caller earlier about how we got in this state and poverty period. Like you said, we need generational giving, generational love, and that's like a huge step forward for us.
We've been practicing even a few bad traditions. Like, I hear people say, "Well, let him get it how I got it," or "Let her do it how I did it." Well, that's not the way to parent.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We are supposed to get things to give to our children when we can, but I understand the shame of not having much to give.
Right.
And so what we do is we begin to resent each other, our own children, our own parents, because of the embarrassment and shame. And many times, someone wise told me, if you take a ball and you throw it in the air, your child's going to be like, wow, how you throw that ball that high in the air, because they can't do it. Sometimes all you have to give is your experience, and that's enough to help someone move forward.
Absolutely.
But we have to stop disregarding one another and throwing each other away.
Like you said, like
Yeah.
even like when you're saying a lot of people would like to leave inheritance, like an inheritance, but that doesn't necessarily have to be financial. Like you said, that
Exactly.
can be a spirit that you transfer into
Yes,
your children. You
yes.
know, so I think
A knowledge,
absolutely,
information, yes.
absolutely. It can be so many other things that don't have to be tangible. So I think that is that's really amazing. So how did other family members step into like the role of supporting, or did anybody else help you with this caregiving?
Of course. You can't, no one can do anything on their own. And so for me, it was my wife, Donnie Smith, who's the executive director at Donda's House. She really, as a male, and my father's a male, and egos get in the way, and my wife was really good at being diplomatic and tempering out like situations and saying, well, why don't you write a contract? And you both agree to, and so, my wife brought diplomacy. My mother's a nurse. She's an LPN. And so, my mother knew where to take my father to get shots for his arthritis or to get an operation, or she knew how to look at him and know what was wrong. So my mother stepped in and helped, which was, think about it. I mean, this is the father that wasn't there when I was growing up, and my mother got pregnant as a teenager. For my mother to then come in and say, let me help you with your father. And my father lives with my mother now. That's an act of revolutionary love and forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And to say, I see this as important to you, son. And although he and I are not together, I'm going to help you with your father. That is a
beautiful.
a miracle circle.
Absolutely, yes. I know some families
circle.
that still aren't able to get together like that, so that's really
and that's another thing that I pray is that, the children that I have are not with my wife. And so just to see that type of coming together and forgiveness of my mother and father is another example of how even our elders can put whatever their differences were in the past to help one another when we're ailing.
Absolutely. I think that is beautiful. So my next question then for you is, what type of events are coming up for people to learn more about caregiving from AARP?
Yeah, well, we're so happy to have this partnership with AARP, and we're going to be doing some screenings in Chicago of the film In My Father's House for those who haven't seen it. So we want people to go to dondahouseinc.org. That's dondahouseinc.org. And we will be releasing the dates of the Chicago filmings of In My Father's House. I'm also preparing for the Blues Fest. And we're going to be doing something with AARP called Bridges to the Blues, where we want to connect younger people to reimagine the blues. And we're going to have information up about that as well. That's coming up, I believe this weekend we're going to do something with that. And so, a lot of things are happening.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we have one more caller on the line. If you could speak, caller, are you there?
I am.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Brenda, and I wanted to find out. I hear the gentleman talking about how his father was helped, and I wanted to find out the facilities and how he actually helped him, and finding an apartment and getting a place and getting them clean. And I also wanted to find out, was his father resistant in receiving the help in the beginning? What was the process? How long did it take?
That's a wonderful question. The process with my father and I, in terms of just getting him to a level where he got into the groove of, my father was on the street for 35 years. That was his community. That is what he knew. So really when we brought him out of homelessness, that's what he said he wanted. He said, I want a place to stay, I want a solid job, but he hadn't had that in over 35 years. So when we brought him to that point, it took about 2 to 3 years to get my father where we could manage it. Again, we went to Safe Haven. That's on the west side, right off Roosevelt, Safe Haven. And we also went to Heartland Alliance, and they have the programs that can really help put people back on track.
Awesome, yes. And two, you can call the number, AARP number, 312-738-1060. And you can also visit us at dondahouseinc.org for more information about the different organizations and events, and also Chicago Sky. You can also visit them at their website. And we just really thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you so much, Shay
Thank you.
Rhymefest, for this
Appreciate you,
awesome
Shayla.
visit. We have to wrap up right now, but we really thank you guys for tuning in. We thank you for the awesome callers, and we really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.